right in terms of
Yep,
sound?
all good.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right, cool. Okay, I'll start again. I'm John Ozzy Bona. I've been working at Audacity Capital for about going 2 years now. I'm head of training and development, and I run the HTP program. Some of you guys have worked with me directly, remotely, one-on-one in person. Some of you have had the opportunity to meet me in person at the Flip Street office, and some of you have had Zoom sessions with me as well. And some of you on FTP as well I've reviewed your accounts, and you've probably had communication with me at some point during your trading career. Also, I come from a background of trading as well. I've been trading the financial markets from 2003-4 to present. I've got a vast wealth of experience on the markets. I have a very unique approach to trading the financial markets. I don't trade with indicators, and people who've worked with me presently and in the past would tell you my style of trading. So I'd like to welcome and thank all of you for taking time out of your evening to spend an evening with me to talk about trading, talk about the FX markets, talk about technical analysis, fundamental analysis, your struggles in trading, where you aspire to go in trading, what sort of training I might recommend, what are my views on certain instruments, what are my views of the HTP, the FTP, how you're finding it, how you can get involved in terms of being educated, how you can be mentored. Basically, it's just an evening of giving you guys the opportunity to get to know me, try and answer some of your questions, and more importantly, to launch this app. As you can see on my screen right now, this is the Audacity app loading up. I'm sure all of you can see my screen. So as you can see, we have various parts of the app. We have the traders community, and we have 4 other subsections. So I'm just gonna, as you can see, all the groups on this app are here. We have the traders community. We have a section for the hidden talents program. We have another section called introduction to trading. And we have subsections as fundamental analysis, mindset and psychology, which I'm going to explain all of them in detail. And we have a few new sections coming in the future, which will be cryptocurrency and stocks, but that will not be available until later half of 2021. And as you can see right now, you can see the amount of members present. So people, if you've got any questions while I'm explaining, that's fine. I'm going to take questions. I've got time. Just put your questions in the questions and answers box. I'll send a message in the chat box. My colleague Leah will get the questions, and I'll be taking regular interval breaks as I'm going through each section here. I'll be answering questions and moving forward, and hopefully I get to answer all your questions. And at the end of the this webinar, I'll provide my email address, and Leah will be happy to disclose my email address. So you can email me at training@audacitycapital.co.uk. That will be available at the end of the webinar. So you can communicate with me whatsoever or anything in terms of training. If you want to progress or you want to actually have a session with me, you can feel free to contact me and we can make room for you in the diary and we can move on from there. So without further ado, let's talk about the traders community. So this evening is more or less me explaining how this app is going to work in the future, how it's going to help you adapt and grow as a trader, how I'm going to play a major role, and Leah and my other colleagues, in helping you guys achieve that journey. And the second objective of this app is support for people on our HTP program and on our FTP program. Because I've been running the HTP program for quite a while now, I know all the potential issues and problems you guys are facing. And it's very unique. People on the FTP program are traders with experience who can trade but lack capital. And people on the HTP are people who normally have never traded before, don't have capital, they want to learn and they want to start their journey. So we have 2 unique people. But one thing in common with these 2 people, the FTP and the HTP, is that we all want to make money. But how do you make money consistently under a disciplined manner in very challenging times with an unstable economy? I believe that way forward is education. You need to be educated. So I'm going to just come off the screen for a minute and go to a whiteboard and just make some key points. So everyone can see my key points. So this is like a little chalkboard, like when you're in school. I'm just going to make some points. When I work with my traders, I these are 3 things I tell people to do. Preparation. That's key. Everybody who's worked with me, even current people who are on this call on the HTP that I'm working with, I don't want to mention their names. Preparation. I tell them, if you don't analyze your charts on a Friday night after the market closes 9 o'clock or before the market opens at 10 o'clock on a Sunday, you're not ready to work with me and you're not ready to make money because you're prone to make mistakes. After preparation, planning. After planning, that brings your performance, which is your results. So breaking down these 3 points, when I mean preparation, as I said before, you analyze in the markets. Depending on your strategy, analyze the market, FX markets. Everybody has a trading plan, as I always say. According to your trading plan, that's the first step. You've analyzed the market, you've chosen your pairs, that's fine. The second part is planning. How are you going to trade? You're going to execute this plan. Then this way your FX pair, your strategy, your risk management, and more importantly, your exit strategy. Because when I mean exit, when you're trading the markets, 3 key things you need when you trade the market. Your entry, yeah, very important, your risk, as in stop loss, how much you're willing to lose, and your exit. I tell people to make it very easy. Once you know your entry, how do you want to enter the market? I enter the market, you can use a candlestick pattern. You can use a Fibonacci retracement. You can use price action. You can use probably supply and demand, support and resistance. Or you can use your indicators. But personally, I'm not a fan of indicators. Indicators, anyone who's worked with me, they will tell you I don't like indicators because they lag. So that's that. So these are things you need to look at in terms of entry. So what we just discussed now is preparation. We analyze the market before when the market closes or end of day, depending on the time frame you're trading. You plan. How are you going to execute this plan according to your trading plan? Maybe your plan is to make 100 pips a month. What pairs are you going to be trading? What strategy? How much are you going to risk per trade? When are you going to get in the market? When are you going to get out of the market? Vice versa. Entry, how are you going to enter the market? Is it a candlestick pattern? We can go in depth when we talk about candlestick pattern. Is it the engulfing bar? Is it the pin bar? Is it Doji? Is it an evening star? What is it? It could be a number of things. Indicators lag. And I always say that. And there's a lot of theory behind indicators that lag, because you can go on YouTube or you can go on Instagram, you can go anywhere online, you're going to see, I use this indicator, I use that indicator. But at the end of the day now, when you back test these indicators, they work, don't get me wrong, for a period of time. But these indicators might not work during certain market conditions. And this is where people tend to lose a lot of money. So the most important thing is learning how to trade manually using candlestick patterns, supply and demand. So basically, you're trading what you see. So when you trade what you see, you take out the guesswork. And when you do your planning, your preparation, and you get your performance, this is what brings this is discipline. Discipline is planning and preparation. And that gives you results. So if planning and preparation is done consistently, what's going to happen to your results? Your results will be consistent as well. So for people who are not really making money, maintaining their balance, you're clearly not doing something right. So, oh, you made $100 today, you lost 40 tomorrow, and you end up with a negative week. So clearly you've probably done your preparation, but your planning, something wasn't right with your planning, because you definitely planned how you're going to trade the market, but what was the key thing? So I'm going to give you an example now. So this is how I trade the markets. So I'm going to give you an example now. So I'm going to share my screen and do one trade example right now. So let's see what we'll do. I'm just going to go to MetaTrader. Let's see. I'll give one example I've done with my traders today. So let me just take this out for example purposes. So let's just clean this out. Let's make this a clean trade, and I'll give an example. Let's just see here, clean. This is a clean trade. I just only have two moving averages here, 8 and 21. This is a demo account. I will not put my real account on here for various reasons. So as I tell my traders, we apply top-down analysis. So first of all, you have to find the market structure. So when we trade, I'm going to annotate the screen for a minute. So the first thing, this is me, how I plan my trade. This is the weekly chart. This is the first candle of the week today. So first thing I want to do is what? I need to find 4 confluences to tell me I got a valid trade, 4 confluences. When I mean confluence, I mean reasons to validate a trade. Reason to validate a trade. Right? So number 1, I need to see the market structure. Number 2, I need to see the price action. Candlestick pattern. For potential entry. Let's get that. Right. Next bit, what time frame am I trading on? And finally, is there any, hold on, just 1 second. Yep, my time frame of choice. Where is price? Yeah, I actually skipped that. Sorry, let's go that in. Where is price? That should be on top. I'm going to move that down. Where is price? Swing high. Low. Yep. And the last bit, exit. My pension is my stop loss. Yep. I always say 2 to 1 by 2 equals my take profit. Just the reason why I say 2 to 1, I'm applying this to the HTP and FTP. The reason why I'm saying 2 to 1, I just always tell my traders 2R, is because you're not allowed to hold trades for a long period of time. So if you're going to take the full potential of the trade, you might end up running at a deficit, or you might have to close the trade a bit early when you don't want to. So if you just aim for 2 to 1, it increases your chances of being more consistent. So these are the things I tell people to do on the HTP. This is not a strategy. This is just a structure, a planned structure, how to be consistent with your trading time frame of choice. So applying all these 3 things, all these things here, we're going to look at the chart now. So this is the weekly chart. We start from the weekly. Let's look at the trend. So we got a wick here, we got a wick here. So what's the mark? We can see clearly we got a downtrend here. Let's just get the wicks here. We got a clear downtrend here, right? Price hasn't broken above this level here. Let's just get that right. Yep. Just right there. So this is the weekly chart. So we got a wick here, we got a wick here. And this was last week. We kind of like got a indecision bar here right in the middle. So if we look to the left-hand side here, we got a key supply level. So if I just draw a horizontal line just across the open of this bar here, as you can see to my left here, I can see price dropping. Anytime price gets to this level, there's a significant drop. Here I got what? 1,738 pips right from here. Pro got just a bit more, 1,986. And from here, we didn't go all the way. I still got what? At least 944. So on average, between 0.1, 2, 3, 4, I have an average of about a 900 pip drop on the weekly chart on the pound yen. But what I can establish right now, based on this trend line, our market structure now, price is rejecting the high. So this resistance I was here before has dropped down now to what? Last week's high. So if we look at market now, how many pips are we away from that resistance? We're only about 114 pips. So that's stage one. Now we move to the daily chart. Let's clear that out. On the daily chart, what can we see? We got clear price action again. We got the resistance level we established. We got the downtrend as we've seen here. We have the moving averages 8 and 21, which is showing dynamic support and resistance. So this is today's candle. This was Friday. But on Thursday, we have a wick here, a bearish wick and a bullish wick, which is automatically a tweezer top. And that tweezer top was formed by an engulfing bar. So rule of thumb, you got a bearish bar, a bullish pin bar with a wick, rejecting the resistance area, followed by an engulfing bar with, I took the sell for here. So based on the market structure on the weekly, I established a downtrend. And on the weekly chart, I've established a downtrend. So I'm taking my trade on a daily chart. So I took this chart here, the sell here. So looking at my stop loss right here, I'm risking 96 pips. So rule of thumb, I need at least 2 to 1 if I'm on the HTP. So if I got 96, I need what? 192. Bringing it down to Metatrade 192. 192 is just somewhere in this region here, just about here. Just about here. 192. Let's just call it somewhere in here. For argument's sake, let's just get a line cursor there. Let's just put that line there. Let's just say this is 192. Right? This is 192 pips. So we got a nice little 2 to 1 trade going on. We're risking what? 92 here. No, 96. Yep. And we're targeting what? 192. Yep. Which is 2R. Just saying, complementing what I said earlier. But now the job doesn't finish there. Because we got 2 to 1 here, remember, we did plot the resistance on the daily, but we didn't find the support. So if this is the resistance here, where would the support be? Support would be the lowest point. It's not here. Some people say it's here. That's not support. This is not support. It's the lowest point. Where support is where the original move started from. So if the move ended here, that means the move started from what? Down here. Because it's not here, it's actually here, because the move came up here, came down, pulled up, down, ranging till it hit this top. So when you go now, you can go into the line chart. You can see this is where the move started, because this was what, an uptrend, ended right here, had an impulsive move down here, and the move started again. This is a new move now. So this would be our starting point, and this would be our ending point. So if you want to put your Fibonacci, you can even put your Fibonacci from A to B. So if I click here, put my Fibonacci, it will give me the same thing as well. As click with my Fibonacci now, you can see the 100% level. You can see where it starts from. 0 here, 100 here. And if I go into my candlesticks, it's here. So what I'm trying to say here now, rule of thumb is, once you've identified the resistance, your 2 to 1, make sure your take profit level is before support. If your take profit level at any time you're trading is beyond support, it's not a valid trade. This I explain more in detail on the Hidden Talents program. So you always want to make sure your take profit is within this zone. So this is just an example of breaking it down. And as you can see, if I review this account here and just take this out. So toolbar, terminal, you can see all the trades. Let's just clear this all up. You can see this trade was taken from last week, and you can see profits all here. It's very simple, just very simple and straightforward. If I show the Euro US dollar trade here, this is a perfect example. As you can see on the weekly, that was a Doji 2 weeks ago. This is a new week. So I got in this trade from 2 weeks ago. But if I go on the daily chart, can you see we got a tweezer top on top here? We got support down here. And as you can see, all my positions are risk-free. So this is where I got in. So right now, up to where our current present, I've already locked in 165 pips of this 1941. So two positions are risk-free and 2 positions are fresh. The daily chart, I took 1 position this morning. I took another position on Friday at the break of the close. So this is what I mean by preparation, planning, performance. Even if you're having a bad trade, your wins will always outweigh your losses. So that's just one example of planning, preparation, and performance. So these are things, and if you look at the traders community, if you look at most of my posts, just take a water break, you can see I follow about 36 people. 36 people follow me. And if we scroll down, all my posts, this is just for this evening, I give you all the clues. Like, for example, some people trade the Aussie dollar. If you trade the Australian dollar is strong. I'll give an example of what I mean by this correlation. So all my posts have meanings. Some people comment, some people send me messages, but I'll give you guys a tip as well. Everything I post on my chats on the Audacity app is free education. If you're not sure about something, just put a message. Oh, what do you mean by this post? I'm more than happy to explain it because this is my way to engage with you. The only thing I cannot do is give you a free session. That is chargeable. But in terms of me posting and you want to know anything relating to how do you trade this? What do you understand by it? I'm more than happy to put a detailed explanation. Because you might, if you look at some of my posts, you see I even give you information. What is a wick? How I see it. So let's use this for example, Australian dollar, AUD, USD. So if the Australian dollar is strong, what is happening to how do we trade the AUD USD? That means we're going to go long. It's bullish. So we're going to go bullish. So if this is bullish, that means the price of silver, which is XAG USD, that's going to be bullish as well. If the Japanese yen now, I like to trade the yen. So let's say we're trading the Aussie yen. If the Australian Japanese yen is strong, if the Australian dollar is, let's go with strong Aussie, that means what's going to happen to the Aussie yen? It's going to go long because the Australian dollar, the base currency, is the strongest pair. But if the Japanese yen is stronger now, AUD, JPY will be a short, bearish. So what this means is that when the yen is weak, that means, so let's get that here. Yen is weak. Just give me a second. When the yen is weak, which means AUD, JPY is a buy. So when all yen pairs, when people are buying anything with the yen, AUD, CAD, JPY, when all these pairs are long, that means oil prices are going up. So if you're buying oil, like, so basically this is what I'm saying, if you're trading Brent crude going up, what are you going to do? You're going to trade AUD, JPY long as well. That's what I'm saying. Because the reason why you're going long with AUD JPY is because the Japanese yen is weak. That means this is strong. So this is what I mean by correlation. And the same thing with gold. When the euro's strong, gold is strong. And I give you notes as well. Japanese is a major importer of oil. This means that if the oil price were to rise, the yen will see a fall. So if you're importing something and the price goes up, what happens to your currency pair? So this is what I mean by these sort of things. So I'm just going to take a little quick water break, and I'm going to pass back over to Leah to let's try and answer a few questions. So Leah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so let's take a few questions.
Perfect. So a question we've just got in the chat seems to be about weekend positions.
Okay.
I'd just like to clarify that we do allow you to keep your positions open over the weekend. However, you must request it by sending an email to support@audacitycapital.co.uk, and then it will be reviewed by our risk management team to see if it would be safe or not to do so. So yes, so you're allowed to keep positions over the weekend. And now I'll move on to the questions that I've collated from the app and from my email. So you have got these questions, haven't you, John?
Yes, I have the question and answers. I just can't read the ones in the chat. So
No
just
problem.
to make it easier, the ones that you get on your email and the app, obviously you're getting all the questions in the back end. I will focus on the Q&A questions that show up on my screen. All other questions, if Leah, you can read them out to me and I'll answer those ones. It makes it easier. So
Sure.
we're both so I'll focus on the Q&A questions that are seen here. I'll answer them after I've answered your questions, then we can go back and forth that way. So the whole process will be easier than us getting lost in between.
Perfect. So if anyone has any other questions at the end of this, just please put it in the Q&A bit. And I will start from the questions that have been sent to me.
Okay, any more?
The first one we have is, why do you limit risk by lots exposure, but not the percent of the account exposure?
Okay, that's a very good question. The reason why we do that is for two reasons. One, you're having a big amount, you have low leverage of 1 to 5 to 1 compared to other brokers where you get 30, as under ESMA rules, you have 30 to 1 as a standard retail trader. With certain brokers in the Seychelles, overseas, offshore, Australia, you can get away with 200 to 1 leverage, 500 to 1 leverage, or probably even 1,000. But what I'll tell you from my experience in brokering and being in the markets, always do your DD, your due diligence with these brokers, because it's very good taking their bonuses and depositing money. But it's another question taking your withdrawing your money. I cannot mention brokers for legal reasons without getting into trouble. But all I'll tell you to do is do your due diligence. Audacity is a reputable company. We have direct liquidity from Deutsche Bank, which is a tier one investment bank. So we're not paying commissions and spreads. So we actually have liquidity from an investment bank themselves. So under that liquidity agreement, we can provide you with an amount of capital we feel that we can willing to risk that is sustainable to the business model by providing $15,000 on the FTP and on the HTP, and with the exception of $7,500 on the fast track. What the fast track program is, a lot of people don't know what about the fast track. It's a program we introduced late last year because a lot of people went to come onto the HTP, but they could not afford it. And a lot of people went to come on the HTP, but they got experience, but they don't have time to be spending 4 weeks training that they don't need it. So we found a halfway balance in between by offering the FTP, which is a fast track. The fast track works this way. You spend 2 weeks with me in the office or remotely now, working under me, mentoring you, seeing what you know, going through your trading plan. And it's my job to get you up to a certain level of confidence and consistency, as I mentioned before, planning, preparation to lead to consistent performance to get you your results. So coming back to that question of 5 to 1 leverage, and why do we use percentage based? Because we're using percentage based in terms of lot size instead of actually doing actual percentages. We can control the whole business model on a bigger scale. And I'll give you an example right now. Let me just come out of the screen real quick. I'm not sure if a lot of people know how the HTP works. this is how it works. Coming back to my whiteboard again, I'm just going to open a fresh page. So first of all, you start the HTP with $15,000, right? What is required of you is 10% both ways. 10% drawdown, and we have 10% profit target, right? So based on this now, 10% profit, 10% drawdown. So in other words, what we're saying is you can't lose more than 1,500. And I'm sure there are questions on what happens if you lose all the money. You just need to make what? 1,500 as well profit. To be honest, I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's hard, because if I'm saying it's easy, then it's like I'm kind of not really, you know what I mean? So I'll just say it's challenging, but with the right education and mentorship, this is possible. We've had people do it in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but if you stick to what I said, planning, preparation, that'll give you the performance to make this happen. And the most important thing is your lot size. Your lot size is capped at 0.50. So, and your leverage is what? 1 to 5. So this is what you got to play with. I tell my traders, and I can put it here freely. This is a free nugget tip here tonight. Start with 0.05 lots. I know it might seem a little, but you got 10 times, 10 possible trades before you blow your account for disaster if you're a bad trader. So always aim for 2R trades, 2 to 1. One risk, 2. So for example, if you're risking what, $50, let's put, for example, if you're risking $50 out here, risking $50, you're going to end up with $100. That's profit. So what about if you have 10 trades? Out of 10 trades, you win 5. So automatically you've made 2 to 1. So that's what, $500. And let's say out of 5 trades, what else? How much you lose 5? How much you've lost? Just a single home. So you lost what? $250, which is $50 risk, $250. So what is your overall profit? $250. So $250 goes on top of what? Your 15K balance. So you just made what? 15,250. So this is how we teach you how to trade. Just simple. Now, how much more do you need to get to your target? You only need what? 1,250. So it's just finding the trades, the strategy, and it's all down to what? Planning, preparation equals performance. I can't tell you how to do it, but if you're on the program, people will tell you, I'll more or less give you the key format. Yeah, there you go. Where's the N? I give the key. So that's how you do it. So this is why we put it down to this way, why you risk. And believe it or not, once you get there, the money starts quadrupling. So you go from 15,000, go to 30,000, you go to 60,000, then go to 120,000. Then what else do you go to? You go to 240. Then finally you go to 500,000. And this is how it works. And when you get to 500,000, that's a different conversation. And this is all achievable. Our latest trader, if you go on YouTube, I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. So look out for that interview. Vladislav Hanov, he's one of our best traders on the FTP program, and he got to $500,000 in 8 months. So that's going to be a very interesting interview tomorrow. I'll be having with him sometime tomorrow, and it'll be posted on YouTube. So look forward to that, and I'll be asking him some key questions. And apart from that interview, I'm going to have another special in-depth interview with him, asking him about his mindset, his psychology, and how he managed to achieve this milestone in 8 months under these risk parameters. So this is an ongoing thing. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of people closer to Vladislav. I've had people under my mentorship hit 10%. I will not mention names because some people want to be named anonymous because they don't want to be in the spotlight. They're camera shy, but I will be doing the interviews. I just won't show their faces on the interviews. So look out for the next 2 interviews that'll be done by me personally on YouTube in the next few days. So I hope that answers that question. So moving on to the next one. Leah, what's the next question?
So the next question, both Imran and Archie asked this question, which we get a lot as well to my emails and online, which is, why can't you hold trades during news events if you're already in profit?
Okay, that's another thing. I'll answer this on behalf of the risk manager. This is a catch-22 because at the end of the day now, we want our traders to be profitable. But at the same time as well, when you're trading certain sensitive pairs like pound, US dollar, US dollar yen, like for example, NFP, first Friday of the month. If you're in profit and when NFP comes, we know NFP can be like a yo-yo, it can spike up and down. It brings lack of discipline. And in the past, we've had traders make money and lose money. And when you look at all the traders under our management of under 500 traders on different account sizes, if we have 40% of our traders making money and losing money in seconds, it brings a problem in terms of balance, in terms of risk of the business model. So whether you like it or not, unfortunately, the risk manager has to use his discretion to put certain rules in place, because this is a business as much as well, it's an opportunity for you as well. That's why it's a 50-50 profit split. Because when you hit your 10%, you get 50% of your earnings, and the company gets 50% to reinvest. But at the same time too, if there's no discipline, and remember what I just said, planning, preparation equals performance. If there's planning in place, clearly you've done that, you made profit. There's preparation as well. But discipline is another thing altogether. A lot of people, you plan, but then you go against your plan. You say, oh, I'm going to go to Tesco's, and you change your mind. Oh, I'm going to go to Waitrose. So in terms of the market, oh, I'm up by $200. I'll close it as soon as I get to 200 and 190. Oh, I changed my mind. I can get more. You've deviated from the original plan. I'm not there with you. The risk manager is not there with you. We've given you an account to manage at your discretion with the confidence you've got the right training and the right mindset to manage these amount of funds. So to protect our downside, we have to put limitations in place. So this is one of the major reasons why you're not allowed to trade during news events. So if you want more clarification on that, I'm more than happy to come on the app and put a special bullet point analysis on why we don't let it happen and why it does happen, and with the adverse effects. So I'm going to actually make a note of this topic, and I'm going to post on this in depth in the next few days. So that's what I can answer on this question for now. In the future, the risk manager might be present and he can take this question directly. So on to the next question, please.
Great, thank you, John. That was a great answer. So our next question is from Archie again, and it was why we don't trade commodities such as gold and oil.
Okay, Archie, gold and oil are very volatile pairs. And personally, myself, as I just used that example, I trade gold and oil on a regular basis. But this program was strictly built for FX. But what I can tell you, Archie, is when you get to the 6-figure region, like Vladislav and a few of our other traders, I will let you know, and I'm letting everyone know, we have flexibility for you to trade other instruments like oil and gold, because you've proven yourself to manage money under tight conditions, and you've got the experience to hold the balance. So that opportunity is available when you get to a 6-figure target level. That's from 120. When you get to 120,000, you are allowed to trade these instruments at the discretion of the risk manager. Next question, please.
Great, thank you, John. So the next question is from Jude, and I think he wants to discuss the types of Doji candles and how each one would affect the market bias and the benefit of a top-down analysis. So this is advice information question.
This is advice, and so this is a tricky one. I can answer the question without, but if I have to answer your question, I have to do an example, and that's going to take me about 5 to 10 minutes to break that down. But what I can recommend, Archie, sounds like a personal question, and I'm happy to answer this question for you. So if you can just ping Leah your contact details, I'll personally break it down for you in one of my mentoring sessions with the HTP guys, and I'll give you content to explain this question in context as well, so for you to have an understanding of it as well. So Leah, if you can get his details, I'll answer that definitely off the record directly via email, and I hope that keeps you happy, Archie. Next question, please.
Perfect, thank you. My email for that question, I think his name was Jude, or if anyone else would like to find out about this, please just send me your details. My email is pr@audacitycapital.co.uk, and I'll make sure you will get the answer to the question. So moving on to the next question, this is from Luca, and it is, what are the differences between Audacity Capital and other prop trading firms?
Yep, the difference between Audacity Capital and other prop trading firms, and Luca, I can tell you this from experience. I came to Audacity, you're going to understand, my story will be revealed shortly because I'm actually doing a documentary on my journey of Audacity Capital. I came to Audacity Capital just like all of you guys. I came to trade on the FTP, not the HTP, FTP. But I was just very fortunate enough, I got interviewed by the risk manager himself because the person who was meant to interview me didn't come in that day. So it was very funny. He said, "Oh, if he's probably listening, you here for asking me about my experience?" I said, "Just hold on a second. I just actually need to trade for a minute." I was actually trading oil right in front of his face. He was amused. "Are you trading oil?" I said, "Yeah." It was actually a heavy lot size. "It looks like you know what you're doing." I said, "Yeah, I'm mentoring someone right now. So I don't know how long this interview will be. Because I'm actually now, maybe have a different comment." He said, "Well, you know what? I don't think this program's for you." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You know what, let's come back in 2 weeks." And that 2 weeks I came back, it was a different conversation. And he said, "Well, how would I like to mentor people and be part of Audacity?" And I accepted it as a temporary role. I'd done it for 6 months. I built relationships, and I could see the value I was bringing to Audacity and how Audacity respected the value I was bringing in. I signed a contract, and this is where I am today, 18 months and counting. So what I can tell you about Audacity, the difference between Audacity, I can't really mention their names without tying myself up legally, because I probably might have some other prop firms listening to this call. So I will never put myself on a spotlight to be shot down by anybody or to be sued or to be getting an email in the morning, "I said this, I've said that." But all I'll tell you is the difference is the quality of your education experience. So I put myself on the line, and I put my reputation on the line right now. If you go and check me on LinkedIn, you see my profile. Audacity is a hub, just like McDonald's, just like chicken, KFC. Everyone can make your chicken, but the quality of the meal you have will determine if you come back for more. I'm not selling Audacity, but I'm selling my experience. I am the difference because Audacity invested in me to make a difference, and now I've invested in the HTP students and the people who work with me mentoring. So the difference is the person you're learning from, the mentor, because it's all about three key things: value, which I bring without a doubt; support, I support all my traders even after the program; and respect, I respect all my traders, no matter old, little, young, whatsoever. And you can talk to the people who've been under my mentorship. Go on YouTube, the videos are there. Talk to them. They'll tell you what an experience it's like to work with me. So based on the value, support, and respect I bring with the 18 years experience, I'll say Audacity is the best. And on top of that, Audacity pay you straight away when you hit your 10%. I don't know any other prop firm that does that. And again, I don't know any other prop firm that gives you $500,000 to trade with as well. So in my opinion, Audacity is the best out there, but don't take my word for it. Seek it yourself. Do your due diligence. You're not going to come back with anything negative. And to finish off my point, how many of our competitors out there have an app? How many of them are doing a Q&A? I'm not selling you anything tonight. I'm not telling you have to pay for anything. This is just a Q&A. So I'm very open. I'm not making money from this. This is my free time. This is my PlayStation time. But I'm out here just having an audience with you, Q&A. So I'll say do your due diligence. And I'm sure hopefully one day we'll probably get to meet one another and probably work together. And I wish you all the best. Next question, please.
Perfect. Thank you, John. So we have only a few questions left from the ones I've collected from my email in the app. So this one is from Mirna, and he asks, do we really need to put SL and TP every time we trade if we are not full-time in trading? Because as I have observed, SL has always got first hit.
Okay, that comes down to what I said before. Planning, preparation equals performance. I have to be, I want to use the right example. With my traders know me to be very foul-mouthed by using explicit examples. So I'm actually going to think carefully before I answer this with the right example. So, okay, I've thought about it. So not having an SL, which is a stop loss, is like leaving the house, leaving your door open. You live in Chelsea, you leave your door wide open, thinking no one's going to come into your house and rob you. You close the door with a key to lock it for what? Security. So when you're trading the financial markets, remember I said planning, preparation equals performance. So if you're planning to short the market, you have to close the trade by protecting yourself. This is the maximum I'm willing to lose should it go wrong. For example, we're talking about locking the door. What if we did lock the door and for some odd reason, there's a natural disaster or something happens, your load gets banged in or an impact comes to the door? Your door will not bust open because your door's reinforced. It protects you from the internal contents of your house from getting damaged. So that's what a stop loss is like. But if you're trading without a stop loss, you're a gambler. It's that straightforward. You're a gambler. Scalpers do it, but you're a gambler. You're chasing gold. Because if you're trading without protection, you're doomed to fail, because who trades without protection? Who leaves the house without securing their door? Who crosses the road without looking left or right? So when you trade without stop loss, you're just doing the opposite, putting yourself in danger. So that is actually a characteristic of bad trading. So your stop loss will always get hit 9 out of 10 times if you don't plan properly, and if you don't do your top-down analysis properly, and if you don't have the right education to know how to plan properly. So this is why you're probably experiencing these situations. So what I recommend is you get yourself educated. You don't need to even come to Audacity, because free educational content is up there on YouTube. There are PDFs flying all around the internet. And you know the best thing as well? You can educate yourself through the Audacity community app. And if we go back to the community app right now, let's go back to the app. Okay, my screen's frozen up. That's cool. I'll stay on the questions. But if you go back to the community app, as I'm going to share this real quick, go back here. As we're back to the Audacity community app, as you can see, this is the very best point to learn how to trade the markets, because I give you all the content for free. This is education on its own. That's one. Number two is a community with like-minded traders. This is the whole point of the app. All of you support each other. Oh, what do you think of this trade? What do you think of that? You know, you have to really put yourself out there. And this is how you're going to, make a difference with it, with your trading and your journey. And I wish you all the best. But connect and network with like-minded individuals on this app. Go through all the content I post and my colleagues, and I'm very much sure you'll see a difference in your results. Next question, Leah.
Great, thank you, John. I'd just like to add as well that the app is available online, Google Play, and the App Store. If anyone wants to join, you'll be with all of us. All of our team are on here to give you tips, sharing our trades, and things like that. So the next question is, what are the best indicators, risk management, and the best time frame to use H1, H4, or D1?
Okay, that depends on your your trading plan, because your trading plan is down to how you want to enter the market, how you want to exit the market, and your entry and your exit equals your take profit, because once you know your entry, you know your risk. And once you know your risk, you know your exit. So, and I said before, your risk is 2 times your stop loss, which is your exit, your take profit. So personally, to answer your question, your time frame determines on how much time can you commit to looking at this computer screen trading the markets. Personally, I trade 8 hours and daily, 4-8 daily. And sometimes I trade the weekly. But ideally, it depends on my schedule. My trading plan incorporates the higher time frames from 4-hour to weekly. So for example, I'm in the office now, I'm training other traders. Sometimes I don't have time to take certain trades. So I trade the 8-hour chart because they're only 24 hours a day. That means I just need to look at the candlestick close on the 8-hour chart 3 times a day. If I'm trading the 4-hour candlestick, I just need to analyze the market 6 times a day. So it all depends on your time to commit to the screen. There's more accuracy on the higher time frames. So I recommend you master the daily and the 4-hour. When you master the daily and the 4-hour, you can master any time frame. So to answer your question, stick to the daily and the 4-hour. And if you go, remember, if you're on the presentation a bit earlier when I was breaking down the Euro USD trade and the pound JPY trade, daily 4-hour, do your market sentiment, do your analysis, find your entry, exit, you're good to go. So it all comes down to that. But more of this can be shown on the app, and I go more in depth on the HTP program as well. But not that I'm saying you have to do it, it's not for everybody, but on the app, all my 250 plus posts, one of them clearly answers this question. I'm sure I've covered this at one of the posts in the earlier ones, I'm not sure. But what you have to do is scroll through everything I've posted and you find your answer there. And I've said before, if you're not sure, everything I post is always relevant. Just ask a direct question. What do you mean by this post? And I'm happy to explain. On to the next one.
Perfect. Thank you, John. So the next question is from Christoph. And he said, I would like to ask you, what is the most important thing to achieve a consistent performance in trading? Is it better to focus on a shorter period of time or a longer time horizon?
You
Please
have to
give some tips on how to quickly achieve this goal.
you have to incorporate both of them, because you got to have a long-term view in order to get an accurate short-term view. So when you have a long-term view now, you know what's going to happen. It's like the weather. If you live in London now, London South, Manchester's North. So if you know we got snow in Manchester, it's not snowing in London. The long-term view would be what? At some point in the week or the week after, we're going to get snow from into London because it's coming from the top, coming downwards. So when we're looking at the market, when we see prices dropping from a key resistance level on the weekly time frame, we know the chances are the market's going to drop heavily on the daily and the 4-hour. So it's always good to have a long-term view from the daily, weekly, and incorporate our entry on the 4-hour time frame and the 1 hour, and make sure they're in sync with the higher time frames, and you get your consistency there. So always make sure you're trading consistently with price action, support and resistance, and the flow of the market, not going against the market or using an RSI telling you the market's going up. And when you look at the RSI going up, the market goes the other way. Indicators lag. They're always late to the party. Look at price itself. And what I'm going to do, probably the next webinar, which I don't know when it'll be, but it'll definitely be sometime in February. Instead of doing a Q&A, I'll show you exactly how I trade. And what I can do as well, I can just probably do a live presentation with my HTP guys. I said, well, I'll keep it an open webinar where everyone can join. I'll mute everyone and you just watch how I trade. And maybe by watching me, you might want to work with me. So that is something that I'm open to sometime next month. I don't know when, but We're all going to sit down, and it's all about you guys, really. We're not selling you anything. If you guys want more value, just ask for it. If the numbers are great, I'll make it, and it's worth my time. Okay, my evening, I got 50 people who want to talk about trading. I'll make myself available. But if the numbers are not great and the demand is not there, I don't need to overstress myself, because I'm not selling nothing. I'm just showing people this is what's out there, because I don't need to market myself or the company, because my work speaks for itself. So if you follow those two tips, and like I said before, follow everything I post on the app. It's all relevant to the problems traders I've worked with on the HTP, or I support on the FTP, and traders in general. I answer all the possible scenarios and questions and problems you have on the app by giving examples. So everything I post is relevant. And if you're still not sure, just send me a direct message on the app, and we can engage much more directly on a one-to-one basis. Next question, Leah.
Perfect. Thank you, John. So I've just got to the end of all the questions that I have collated.
Okay.
So I think maybe now we'll move to the questions from the chat, and
Okay.
we have time for maybe a few more. So you can see the Q&A, John, yeah?
Yep, I can see that. I got 23 questions, so I'm going to halt now at that. So I'm going to stop at that, so just to allow time. So I'm going to go through all these 23 questions, and I will take 5 more from Leah. That's what, 28. That's it. Yeah, I'll take 5 more from Leah, and I'll round it up, because this wasn't going to be a 3-hour webinar. It was actually going to be 90 minutes, but we're going to an hour. So really and truly, we should be wrapping on an hour, but I think we might just go over time, which is fine, because I want to answer all these questions. And if time permits, I'll probably just take 5 more from Leah's end, and I'll round up the session, and I'll leave my contact details should anyone wish to contact me for any various reason, work with me, pick my brain, or whatsoever. It's all there. The first point of contact would be the Audacity app, or through my colleague Leah. Me and Leah work hand in hand. So if you contact Leah, you've contacted me as well. And if you contacted me, you contacted Leah. But really and truly, me and Leah work close hand in hand. So either one of us you contact, it's going to get to me, because we work very closely together. So when you see me doing things with Audacity, 98% of the time, Leah is always there, because what I do is not just down to me, it's down to support. And I remember that I mentioned value, support, respect. I'm supported by Leah, and I'm supported by another colleague of ours, Annie. Annie handles the PA side, the administration side of things. So without Annie and Leah, I cannot do my job. So if anything for tonight, please show your appreciation for Leah as well, who's moderating tonight, because Leah does play a big role in what I do. I might be the one teaching and making trades happen, but without Leah's support, there's no balance. I can't do everything myself. So this is another good example where I'm trying to relate to trading as well. You need support. You can have the capital, but if you haven't got the right mentor or the right person supporting your journey, you're going to be running around wasting time and end up undercapitalizing yourself, blowing your account, frustrated, and giving up. So in life, you always need support. So that's just a good example. Leah's not a trader. Leah's a specialist in filming, graphics, social media, but she's still important in what I do on a daily basis. So when you see Leah posting on the app, don't discount Leah, because Leah's not talking about trading all the time. She is just as important as I am important, because everything's part of a component, it's a model. You take one person away, the whole model crumbles. So you can't have one without the other. That's what I'm saying. And when you put that to your trading as well, you cannot have a successful trade without support, which is planning. And without planning, how do you get planning? You need education to plan properly. So that's that. Okay, first question. Any other platform for US-based traders to trade on, especially Mac users? This question is 2 ways. If it's to trade Audacity Capital's capital on the FTP or HTP, we do have support now where we can have MT4 bridged onto the Mac OS systems. That's one. Number 2, you can actually use TradingView, which is an independent interface Java-based platform for traders, www.tradingview.com. Then you just have to probably trade off your mobile phone through your iOS App Store or your Google Play Store, MT4, and connect the Hermes account there. So pretty much the platforms are all there for you. So if you really struggling with platforms, please contact support. So I'm just going to put this here, just contact support, and just put this here. So some of the questions, I'm going to type this in privately. So it goes, so if you need any more based on that, yeah. So I'll just send that to you, and I'll put that public so anyone can see that. So that answers that question. Sorry, alive and late. Okay. Yeah. Indicators I use when I prepare the day. I can see how the asset is behaving during the night. Indicators are good, Mario, but at the end of the day, as I said before, indicators lag. I can go into a lot of theories behind this. I come from a mathematical background. I studied financial maths and chemical engineering. And from my mathematical background, I can tell you indicators lag, and that's a different theory on its own. But indicators can be used to add to confluence to validate your trade, but should not be the sole decision maker of your trade. Next one, EMA or SMA. I want you to answer this one live. I prefer EMA because EMA, exponential moving averages, analyzes closing prices. And I tell people we want closing prices when we're analyzing the market. The reason why we want closing prices is because prices are stable. We want closing prices only because if we answer, like for example, if we trade in the 4-hour chart and the market's going up and down, or I place a trade, it was short, then before 1 o'clock now, on the close on the 1-hour candle, that short now has done a big doji and taking you out of the trade. It's not stable, but when the market is closed and stable, we can see clearly and we can analyze by the pattern. Okay, we got doji, candle closed. So when we get a doji at resistance level, the logic would be what? The next candle is going to be a short. So, and if it's close to the exponential moving average, that gives us more confidence that we got a strong support or resistance level going in the direction that we've analyzed. So exponential moving averages are very key and important because it contains the candle close. Simple moving average just calculates that time the asset hit the high or the low. We're not concerned about the high or low. We're concerned about candle close. But candle close is much more clear. So it's like crossing the road, or you're driving. Amber, red, green. Amber, green. You have two scenarios. What if you saw amber, you went ahead and the car hits you from the left? You need to be sure before you step on the accelerator to go forward. So when you see amber, you slow down, look left, look right. So when you're trading, always use a candle close because you want confirmation, not uncertainty. So exponential moving average is always important. Pullbacks are a very good way to trade. You trade pullbacks by reversal candlesticks or using the Fibonacci. And you can go onto the app. I actually explain this in detail on the app. In my opinion, 1 week is too long because the okay is not the same. Okay, but for sure it also means I don't know my asset behavior. I use a 4-hour to set the mood. Am I wrong? Yes, to a certain level you are wrong. It's not about, if you're saying the 1-hour time frame is too long, you're not ready to trade, because trading is not easy. You have to look at the bigger picture, as I said before. If you look at a post I made actually 2 days ago, I actually talk about this at length, top-down analysis. Have a look at that post. If you don't understand it, I'm happy to explain it in more depth. So have a look at that post I put 2 days ago. I'm just going to put it here. Have a look at the post. If you don't understand it, have a look at the post. My post on top-down analysis. And if you seek more, send me direct message. Yep, that helps. Okay, moving on to the next one. Pullback. Okay, we've done that. Correlations. I kind of like answered correlations. I give that an example. But if you go on the app, I've covered this as well in depth on the app. And if you rewatch the video as well, I think I posted a video about a week ago. So Mario, this is definitely on the app. So have a look at that. I've noticed there's a mixture of lot sizes allowed per trades. Is hedging allowed? Can I open? Nope, hedging is strictly not allowed on the FTP or the HTP. That is set by the risk manager. I cannot even comment on that. That's so if you're an FTP trader, which is likely based on this question, or if you're a HTP trader, which is more likely as well, you're either one of the two, I recommend you send a request to the risk manager, and he's more happy to answer it. But I can just tell you, it's based on the risk manager's parameters. It's not acceptable. It's a simple straight no. Can we arrange stock accounts where traders can trade the Nasdaq? As I said before, I answered the previous question live. When you get to the 6-figure mark, you have flexibility. But from what I know, none of our traders trade Nasdaq stocks. If anything, it's more gold and oil. No one really trades indices on our platform. But there's always room for negotiation if you're a proven trader on the 6-figure mark. CAD equals oil, US equals gold. Yes, that is true. Understand these correlations are pretty good. I can tell you this. I use a simple correlation. I call it follow God. Some people who've worked with me tell what that means. That means I look at gold prices, I look at oil prices, and I look at the strength of the US dollar. Based on that, I can make my analysis and I know what I'm trading. I'm not going to break down the examples because I'm giving too much away. But if people really want to know how I break down this phenomenon, follow God, send me a direct message and I'll post this right before midnight on the app, what I mean by the follow God theme. People who've worked with me, if you can find them out, they'll tell you what it is. It's a very powerful template because all you have to do is just follow this. You're not going to miss the big trades. So that's that. Moving forward. We've noticed that we're not allowed to lot size. We've done that. Okay, let's move down. We've got quite a few more. Just give me a second. We'll get into the last bits. Okay, how many? Open 20 advance. Wow, we still got more. Okay. Okay, equity drawdown or balance drawdown, close positions. Equity drawdown means that I'm all getting all the same questions from Mario. Basically, equity drawdown close positions, that means you've blown the account. This is a conversation we tell you to have with the risk manager when we hit that, or we contact you. We do an investigation into seeing what happened, and we offer you a solution. We normally give people a second chance. So that is something, if you're in that position, you can always send me a direct message. We can talk about it, but chances are before you even send a message, we've already flagged it. We make communication with you and we find a way forward. So that's that. Do you mind to list the different maximum lot size for each capital levels? Okay, the different capital lot size for each levels. Yes, I can answer that. I think I've answered this in the app. So what I'll tell you is, just send me I'll post this on the app. Yep, I'm gonna do that. And guys, what I'm gonna do as well, because some of you got in late, some of you not see all the questions, and I know at the end of the day, this is all relevant and all of you can learn from it. Leah, are you there? Hey, Leah.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, what I think we can do at the end of this webinar, is it possible for us to have all these questions downloaded with the answers? Would that be available? Is that option there on the back end?
Yes, so all of the things that have been discussed today in the webinar will be uploaded to YouTube.
Okay.
But the other questions, I can get them as well and we can maybe answer them.
Okay, what we'll do then, me and Leah will sit down and find the best way possible where I can summarize all the Q&As into one PDF file or one short video post that wraps it up in under 5 minutes. So it will probably be titled Webinar Summary Q&A. So me and Leah can work together on that. I can't promise when that'll be done, but it will be done sometime soon, depending on Leah's availability and my schedule as well. So we'll try and make that happen. But this video would be available on YouTube, and when it's on, we'll actually post it directly on the app. So you be notified on the app as well, and you should stream it and we take it from there. But I can definitely promise you there'll be another webinar in the future. I just don't know when. All depends on the pandemic and our availability. But what I can tell you, when things go back to normal, I'll be hosting a live webinar at the office. So it'll be an open evening where everyone will be welcome into the office and meet me in person, which I think is actually exceptional. Should things be safe and depend on how the pandemic is. I can't make no promises. I'm not the government, but in the meantime, we try and keep everything on the digital space. So 10% of the initial amount from the initial plus profit equals drawdown. It's actually 10% of the initial capital. So Mario, if you got 15,000, as I said before, I actually put it there, it's 1,500. So it's not 50-50 split because of the monthly fee. Mario, it looks like you got a lot of questions. So I'll answer this last question and I'm going to skip your questions because you got quite a few. So we have to make it a bit fair for other people to be engaged as well. So what I recommend as well, please send me a direct message or contact Leah to schedule a phone call, and I can actually have a 5-minute conversation breaking all this down for you, because it's not fair because of time and we have to go through quite a few questions. So the last question I'll answer from you, because when I see any more questions for you, I'm actually going to skip it out of respect for other people, because a lot of people have taken time out of their evenings to, be on this call, and I have to respect their time as well, because I want everyone to get value from here. This is my free time as well. So if you've got any more questions, which I see you have, please contact Leah directly or contact me at the end when Leah makes my contact details available. So mine is also blank. Okay, Mario, okay, we're gonna start. Belchem, how do you analyze the market, including the macroeconomic news? This is down to education in analyzing the market using macroeconomic news. And as you can see on the Audacity app, we've actually got a section where we have fundamental analysis. On that fundamental analysis part on the app, that's a special course, a video course that'll be coming soon, and a PDF course explaining how the fundamentals work, the macroeconomics, and how that affects the FX markets and how to use that to your advantage. People on the HTP program with me, they're taught everything. But people who are not on that program, or people on the FTP want to be acknowledged, this is like a standoff one-alone course that'll be available shortly. What is the risk parameters on a 30K account? The risk parameter on any account will be 10% of that capital. So if it's 10% of 30,000, it's going to be 3,000. If it's 60, it's 6,000. If it's 100,000, it's 10,000, vice versa. So we come down a 30K account. We got that. We're coming towards the end. Okay, we're doing quite well. Wow, we got open 31. I'm still getting more. Leah, is there any way you can hold up? Are we still getting more questions coming in?
Yes, we're still getting more questions in. I think maybe we can take 1 or 2 more, and then I will send out an email to everyone with the YouTube link to the webinar, and then we can also create a PDF with answers to the other questions.
Okay.
Or you can message me or John directly, and we will get an answer for you. So John, you can just pick 1 or 2 questions that you want to answer, and then I think we will conclude, I think.
Okay, just for the record, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go through the next 5 questions. All the rest of the questions I'll still answer them, but I'll answer them on the back end, and that'll be on the video. So Leah's made a note of these questions. And right now, I'm seeing more questions from Mr. Mario Andrade. And Mario, I'll just say for the record, I think you're being a bit disrespectful to my colleague and this webinar event as well. So I'm actually going to make a note of it. And if you are one of our traders, I'll actually be making direct contact with you and we're going to have a serious discussion because I feel you've been disrespectful. And I said this webinar is all about Q&A, value, support, and respect. Leah, can you get his details for me and we'll check on the fusion if he is part of our traders and we're going to have a word with him. If not, we're going to just blacklist you because just take you off because this is not arguing. This is not one person's better than the other. This is just value, support, and respect. Nobody on this webinar is asking you to sign up or asking you to put part of your money. We're just giving free. I'm just having a conversation with me. Nothing negative, just positive and personal development and hoping people can take key value from these sessions to move forward with their trading. And if people don't know, the Audacity app, it was a big investment. It's not it wasn't a cheap platform to actually put into place. That took almost 13 months on in the background building content. So when you see things and people putting an effort and taking time out of their evenings time, just appreciate it because no one's getting paid for this. We're just sharing what we're passionate about. Leah's got a life, I've got a life, and as we understand, we're all going through our issues with this pandemic. We all got challenges, but we're still doing our jobs. And trading is that unique skill you can have that can solve a lot of problems. Because when you know how to trade, you solve one major problem, which is your finances. You can earn a living for life if you know how to trade. Audacity is a place where you can actually learn a skill, manage, grow your account. When you're on 120,000, as you go higher, it's very easy to hit your 10%. So I recommend anyone on this call, watch that interview I do with Vladislav. You will not be disappointed, but inspired. I guarantee that money in the bank. Mark my words, you're going to be inspired when I do that interview with Vladislav. If Vladislav can do it in 8 months, and guess what? Vladislav is independent. He's on the FTP. Yes, he's contacted me. I've given him a bit of support here and there, but he done it on his own. So now imagine now when I start working with Vladislav full time, just see how good this guy's going to be. Mark my words. My work will speak for itself. So Mario, I really don't appreciate the negativity here. So I wish you all the best with your trading, but I can guarantee so far I'm with Audacity, you will not be working with me because people like you are disruptive and you kind of violate all my principles. So I made a note of that. Okay, Philip, do you charge a maintenance fee in pounds but trade and reward in dollars? Um, we charge in, I think it's a bit technical. I don't really understand this one. Leah, can you answer this one? Why do you charge maintenance fees in pounds but trading? Okay, and on the trading part, on MetaTrader, everything's always in dollars. In terms of us charging for the FTP fee, I think it's fixed. Leah, is it fixed in pounds or is it variable?
The FTP fee is a fixed fee. So I saw another question as well. Does the monthly fee remain the same as we move up? Yes, it does. It stays at the £99 per month, no matter what size your account is. You could be at the starting account, or you could be like Vladislav at $500,000. It will still be the £99 fee.
Okay. Marhajan from Croatia. How many pairs do you follow? To be honest with you, that's why we have a watch list. I have a watch list of about 14, and I like to take my best 5. So it's all about what pairs are offering me the opportunities at that time. I just need my best 5 in terms of risk management and the money management techniques I put in place. I take my best 5. So it's always best to have a watch list and just take your best pairs that suit your trading plan, your risk parameters, and your 2-to-1. Do you have access to commodities once you hit the 15K account? Unfortunately, no. Only when you hit the 100K level, commodities come an option. What else do we do? Why do you charge maintenance fee? Okay, we've answered that. Okay, we're coming down. Okay, we're coming to the last bit. Okay, the last ones. Okay, we answered that? Can I come to London to improve my trade? That's always an option. Do you teach any algorithm trading? No, we don't. Closing price was a question to you about your chart. Okay. We ignore Mario here. Okay, what are the procedures to join your firm? Okay, what are the procedures to join Audacity on the funded trader program? Okay, it's very simple. I can answer that. Leah can answer that. Just you be contacted by one of our recruiters on the onboarding team. You will have an interview. We will assess your level of experience. We're going to ask for a proven track record, and once you get approved, you get a contract, and that contract will state that the monthly fee we just spoke about, which is for maintenance, you get $15,000 to trade of company funds, and you go through the process of earning your 10%. And every time you hit 10%, the account is increased and it's split 50-50. So if you want to know more about that, that's iShack. You can contact Leah, or you can contact support at audacitycapital.co.uk, and one of my colleagues will reach out to you, or you can send me a direct message. I can put that there. I can send that to you now. Just put support at Audacity Capital. I'll just send that to you privately so you can see that yourself. So that's that. That's good. And the final question, okay, we can ignore that. That's from Mr. Mara. So Leah, that's all questions done. Yep. So, sorry. Okay. I first joined, I was told $1 million. Okay, this guy, we have Kent Ford. I was told $1 million. What was the max? Now you say 500K. Kenford, I don't know when that was. I don't know your profile. As I said before, I've only been in the company 18 months. And when I joined, it was 500K. And prior to me joining Audacity Capital, there was another guy in my place. He's no more there. So the business has model slightly changed. And obviously we've gone through the lockdown and pandemic. So during my time at Audacity Capital, I don't know anyone trading $1 million. I only know $500,000. So I'm not saying you're lying or not, but during my time, it didn't exist. And remember, I've only been here 18 months and counting. So unfortunately, I can't really get involved in this, answer your question, but I don't know if it's true or not. So I think the best thing is to just put a ticket into the risk manager and ask. And if you're one of our traders, I'm pretty much sure you've been updated on the way the system is through support. So you should know better than that. So I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true, and I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying this is not my place. So you're using weekly time frame. What time frame do you use for entries? As I said before, for entries, daily and 4 hours are good. On the HTP and FTP, I recommend 1 hour, 4 hour daily, those 3 time frames, but always analyze off the weekly. And Leah, I think that's it. What does indicators use us to trade? Not really. Indicators don't really help us. They help us they lag. So just use it as confluence to confirm your trade, but not as your main decision maker. So Leah, I'm done. I've answered all questions. So thank you guys for your evening and for your time. My true appreciation for your attendance, and please, I would like to thank Leah as well for taking time out and supporting me on this webinar, because this is not possible without Leah's help. And clearly, as you can see, there's a lot of content to go through, and there's a lot more I'd like to share, but because of time and other restrictions and resources, I can't really do a lot because we've only got a limited amount of time to have a little Q&A, and I'm sure there are a lot more questions as well. So, but I do promise there will be another webinar in the future. But any other questions that need to be answered, Leah will share my contact details and I'll share them myself. And please, if you can all just thank Leah for me for time and presence this evening. And I'm going to just share what I'm going to share right now on the whiteboard, which will have my contact details. I'll just open another page now. So if you'd like to meet me, contact me whatsoever, support Audacity Capital. No, sorry, that's not mine, sorry. I'm training at Audacity Capital. Okay. That's me, John. That's how you get hold of me. I will not give you my contact number unless you're on the HTP or the FTP. if I have to and we have a relationship. But people on the HTP and FTP know the rules. If you disclose personal contact details of team members, it's a straight dismissal, because that's a violation of privacy, and under the Data Protection Act, with the contract you signed, you're obliged to respect all staff members and all employees of Audacity Capital, unless they're in contracts on the FTP or HTP. Contact details as contact phone numbers are not allowed to be disclosed. So if I do get contact my phone number from somebody who's not on, there will obviously be an investigation, and obviously it's a straight dismissal for if the culprit's been found. But at the end of the day, it's all about respect. So these are my details. And if you want to contact Leah, Leah is at PA at Audacity Capital.
PR, not
PA. PR, sorry. Annie's PA, right?
No, Annie. So Annie is our support. She handles the support and all your inquiries. So hers is support@audacitycapital.co.uk, and mine is PR@audacitycapital.co.uk. And I have posted all of those links in the chat a few times, and I'll post them again.
Okay. Well. And one last bit. So if you want to get hold of me, I'm just going to put this little hand. So moving forward, you can drop me an email, connect with me on the Audacity app. Oh, where's my mouse going for? Yep. Email me or contact. Those are two ways to get hold of me. If you've got any other questions, that's how you get hold of me. And the same applies to Leah as well. So you only get our personal numbers if you have a relationship with us or you're on the FTP or HTP. But other than that, this is it. Anyone on the FTP or HTP, Leah, and you have problems, you know where to go. But FTP people go through support first before you come to me directly, because half of you I don't know. So it all depends on what the situation is. HTP, the people who have my personal number are people I work with directly. I do offer support to FTP, but if you want to build a relationship with me and you need extra support, contact support or contact me at training, and we can have a Zoom call, we can have a conversation, and we can see how we can move forward. So that's it for me for tonight. Thank you very much, people, for your attendance. Leah, anything more you want to say before we close up?
Yes, I would just like to thank everyone again for coming and joining us in this webinar. It's been really successful. We didn't think there would be this many people coming today, so we'll definitely try do one in the future and send out another email as well to get more questions that we can answer in the future. And yeah, I posted all the links, all of our emails and where to get the app from as well in the chat. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you so much to John as well for talking to us today, giving us great information. And yeah, thank you guys, and hopefully we'll see you at another webinar soon.
Yeah, Leah, you're good on the back end of things?
Yeah, all good. So if anyone needs my help, my contact's there.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night and goodbye.